Green.
Hi, Madonna, can you hear us? If you're there, Madonna, go ahead and let us know, or you can put something in the chat. Just want to make sure that everyone can hear us properly. Okay, well, since Madonna's the only one logged in anyway, I'm gonna assume that we're all good to go. So thank you, Madonna, for being here, and hopefully we'll get a few people trickling in here last minute, but we're just here to kind of discuss what Waste Management's going to be doing with their new multifamily recycling assistance program. And what this is going to allow Reno to achieve is for multifamily units to have access to a pilot program for free so that they can better their recycling efforts, and will help Waste Management kind of determine what the next step should be. And this has been a kind of a long time waiting. I know that Phoebe and Carly have been working on this for a while. It has been a project that PSN originally was looking into. So we are happy that Waste Management is about to do this program. We're excited to see the results and kind of see what your guys' data is going to be like. So thank you, Carly and Phoebe, for being here. And I'm going to pass it off to you guys. Take it away.
Yeah, thank you, Allie. And thank you for, all your help through PSN with, getting this going. Certainly wouldn't have, I think, gotten to this point without being part of PSN. Oh, we got one more. All right, so we'll just jump right in. Can everyone see my screen? Okay. So we're going to cover introductions, the design of the program, how it works, what we're providing. We'll have a call to action and then go over any questions that anyone has. So I'm Phoebe. I am the recycling coordinator for Waste Management, and I've been with WM for about a year and a half. I have a degree in natural resource and environmental economics from UNR, and I've been a community organizer, and I've done some program implementation in energy efficiency in Boulder, Colorado, prior to moving back to Reno.
And then my name is Carly Norton, and I am a recycling education rep for Waste Management, and I've been here for a little over 2 years now. And I have my degree in environmental science from Southern Oregon University up in Ashland, Oregon. But I was born and raised here in Reno, and then came back to Reno. And so, yeah, we're happy to get this program started.
So program design, there was a question that came up a lot through the PSN group, as well as with City of Reno and Washoe County, which is why do so few apartment buildings recycle? So recycling is not required for people to have in the state of Nevada. We are required to provide it. So we were hoping with this program to address roadblocks that were preventing apartment buildings from taking up recycling. So based on some feedback that we received from the Apartment Association, there were some concerns about contamination, recycling contamination, and costs and fees associated to that. WM does have some fees for contamination as a way to disincentivize people to put trash in the recycling. We consider contamination anything that's in recycling that is not actually recycling. Plastic bags are the #1 contaminant that we see. Property managers also have a lack of control over tenant behavior. They are not themselves recycling experts. And when there's a disconnect between who owns the WM account and the people using the bins, there ends up being a higher rate of contamination that's harder to control. And then the third issue was property managers' concerns with, getting assistance from WM, that they felt like they weren't getting the support they needed in other ways. So we wanted to address that as well. So we wanted to challenge ourselves to design a program that would enable and encourage property owners, managers, and residents to take up recycling. And our goal to do that is to remove barriers to entry, make the right choice the easy choice, empower them with knowledge, and provide tools for success. So the program is a pilot program. We are looking for 3 to 6 buildings or 300 units to participate in this initial phase. Um, and they can qualify by not currently having a recycling service. Because we are doing a measurement, we want to measure from 0 to full recycling. It'll just give us a better understanding of if people are using it and what the impact is of that program. We want to work with a dedicated property manager, so one point of contact that we're able to communicate with that has the ability to communicate with the residents. And a mid-sized building. It's just Carly and I that are going to be implementing the program, and we will be going door to door and speaking with each resident. So we wanted to keep that at a manageable size. They are eligible if they're in Sparks, Washoe County, or unincorporated Washoe County or City of Reno. So WM is providing a free on-site recycling evaluation. Some of the older buildings here were not designed to have space for a recycling container. So we need to make sure that they have space and they're able to add on that additional container, and then size them appropriately, see if we can reduce the trash bin size or frequency of pickups. Recycling is about 25% less expensive than municipal solid waste for commercial, so they could potentially be saving money if we set them up correctly. Free tools and training. So we want to reach out to tenants and educate them and provide resources before recycling becomes available. So we want to line up those habits with correct habits and behaviors, and then open up that opportunity for them to recycle so that they're not starting off the wrong way. We want to make recycling easy and reinforce that education throughout the program. So, we can go door to door and tell them what they need to do, but we want to provide, signage around the building that makes it easy for them to recycle and reinforces what they've already been told. And we're also going to be providing property managers with tools and training and enabling them to become the trainers. So this includes like information for new tenants, information on what they can include in their lease when tenants are signing the lease, and helping tenants know where to go for things like recycling and even, what to do with bulky items and hazardous household waste. We are waiving contamination fees for the duration of the program. That's the biggest incentive. It gives them a grace period so that while we're educating them, we're also not, holding them accountable during that time for any contamination that might occur. And then if we do see contamination, that would be the proactive monitoring and support, where we are reviewing, how does the bin look? Is there a lot of contamination? Do we need to change our approach? And then we're also completing a tenant survey before and after the program to kind of measure any impact that it may have. I'll turn it over to Carly.
Thank you. So the materials we will be providing for the program include these reusable tote bags. The purpose of these are to encourage the residents to use these instead of buying a recycling bin, and encourage them not to use plastic bags and have these instead. So the tote bags have very simple messaging on them in English and in Spanish, and depicts what can and cannot go into the recycling. Next slide.
Oh, thanks. I forgot that I was in control. Oops.
There we go. Okay, so then, yes, so the door hangers will be placed on all residents' doors that have the recycling rules. So where to find information and where to dispose of bulky and hazardous waste items that should not be placed into the recycling or the trash. The property owners and managers will also be provided with a brochure that goes over frequently asked questions, resources that they can share with their tenants, and things like how to pay their bills and other recycling rules. Next slide. So we will also be providing posters that can be placed around the building or given out to the tenants. We have posters that we can share in the PDF form, or we can do hard copies that are good for the home, as well as common areas if properties have locations that they will be implementing recycling that are like communal spaces. We have posters for that too. Next slide. And we will be conducting an intro and exit surveys that are only like 3 to 5 questions long and should not take longer than 2 minutes to complete. Since this is a pilot, we are hoping to get an understanding of attitudes towards recycling before and after, and see if tenants found our methods educational and see if they will continue to use recycling after our pilot is finished.
So the goal of this program, what we're hoping to achieve through it is to gain an understanding of the educational impacts and incentives. You know, did it work? What worked the most? What didn't work? And determine through that if we can translate it into a long-term program that would work for any size building. And of course, the goal is to increase recycling in the region. Multifamily buildings, in my opinion, are low-hanging fruit for increasing recycling rates, which is why we are addressing that first. And then also to give tenants more opportunities to recycle. Now, I am a renter, and if my property manager doesn't provide recycling to me, I don't even have that option. So just giving more people that want to recycle the option to do so.
So yeah, and I believe most people joining us today are here because they have a common value of advancing Northern Nevada's sustainability efforts. And I believe that offering recycling at multifamily properties is one way we can achieve that. So we were asking that if you know anyone who has this type of property, that you please reach out to them and share our information. We are really hopeful that starting this pilot will lead to more and more buildings participating in recycling and overall increasing Nevada's diversion efforts from landfills. And we hope that you guys are excited by that prospect and willing to help us get that done. Thank you. So do we have any questions?
Yeah, I got one question in the chat here, and I believe we only have 2 people still in the meeting. But Madani said it would be helpful to be able to get cardboard-only dumpsters up an incline for some of our commercial locations. We don't work on our incline contracts, so Carly and I are Reno, Washoe County, and City of Sparks. But I believe any recycling dumpster could be a cardboard-only dumpster. And any commercial business can have cardboard-only services. But if you want to clarify on that question, go ahead and unmute yourself and let us know. Does anyone else?
Hi there. Hi there.
Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you for offering your presentation today, and I want to wish you good luck with the pilot down there. I understand we are out of the working group area on this, but one of the things I've struggled with our local operation is getting that kind of just slot only cardboard dumpster, because one of the things you're going to find, in your challenge and what you're trying to do with your education is to reduce that contamination level. And we lose a lot of cardboard, we lose a lot of recycling because people don't know how to do it right. So that's why I asked the question. We have not been able to get a slot only cardboard dumpster up here. And I don't quite know why I've asked. It just seemed, I was hoping you might have a connection on how to get one. So there you go.
Yeah, I mean, I believe that the slot only for cardboard is a specific kind of lid and opening. And I'm not sure why exactly it wouldn't be available to you. But I assume you've talked to Kendra about it before.
Yeah, I've talked to Kendra and I've talked to Aaron up here, who's our regional manager, who are both great people, but somehow out of the Reno region, I can't get a cardboard only dumpster. So I'll just keep asking. So thank you anyway.
Yeah. Sorry, I couldn't help.
Okay.
So I take it there aren't many participants here. So I'll be happy to ask a question. It sounds like you folks are looking for participants. I'm sorry, I don't have know anyone who owns a apartment complex. Do you have candidates, or how do you think you're going to go about finding these?
Yeah, so so we've approached getting the word out a few different ways. We have had some articles come out that have been really helpful in getting the word out. You know, social media is another tool that we're using that Carly's spearheading. I even just use my LinkedIn to post some things. I've gotten some interest that way. But so far I've gotten about 4 people reach out to me that are interested, and 2 of them are eligible, and both of them have 2 buildings each. So we're already getting a lot of interest. And you know, the more we can just spread the message and let people know this is available, you know, hopefully we'll get additional interest. We also have the apartment association in support of the program. So we're hoping that they are, you know, spreading the message to their members, so that they're, you know, just that information is getting to the right people. We wanted to share this here because this has been, you know, a project that PSN has been focused on, and this is kind of where this all began. So for anyone out there that is looking to do this anywhere else in the state, we want to, you know, allow ourselves to be guinea pigs.
Sure. No, good. I'm glad that you're having some progress toward finding people. And I also want to compliment you. It does sound like you are building this program carefully and intentionally, and you're gathering good information along the way. And so I look forward to seeing what this does, and hopefully we'll be able to get a lot more multifamily units participating in this program. So good job, and I hope it works out well for you.
Thank you, Brian.
And that's all I have. I don't mean
I had
to.
a question. I was just curious, do you girls have like a timeline on when you need to meet you said 0 to 100 people for participating? Or how many complexes, up to how many complexes?
So we picked a number that seemed like it would be good for data that was manageable for me and Carly, which was 6 buildings or 300 units. So if we got, you know, a really big building that was going to take up a lot more of our time, then we would do less buildings, have less buildings participate in the pilot, to make up for that. So so far, the 4 buildings that might participate are between 10 and 60 units each, which is really the perfect size for us. It'll be very easy to implement recycling there. But they're all older buildings, and so far the challenge is where are we going to put a recycling bin and how are we going to make it work for the residents. So lots to figure out before we even begin the program. But yeah, after the pilot is done and we've done kind of this initial stage, we want to eliminate anything that's not necessary and make it a permanent program. That would be our goal.
So let's say like your 4 buildings are interested in, and let's say it all works out space wise, landlord like contacts and stuff, but you're still waiting on those 2 extra buildings. Can those 2 extra buildings hop in at any time? Or are you guys trying to finish this within a certain, you know what I mean? You're like, we have to do this within 6 months. So if we don't get 6, we just have to roll with our 4. Or are you just like, we still have 2 spots left and we can fill them whenever?
Well, we were hoping to start this program at the beginning of 2022, to be completely honest.
You're
And there
still
was a
kind of
lot of
there.
things-
A year behind. It's fine.
There are a lot of things that really slowed it down. So, in regard to needing a timeline, I've just thrown that out the window completely.
Okay.
I think that, you know, it just depends on if we get a ton of interest right away, and we want to kind of have everyone start at the same time, or we want to pace them out if they're a little bit larger buildings. One building's not, it's going to be completed at the beginning of May, and then we would need to wait for some residents to move in before we start the program. So it just really depends. We don't
Okay.
have a set date of when we're going to stop accepting applicants.
Okay, cool. Just in case, if a month's down the road, people are, if I'm still getting those calls on the hotline, I'm like, I don't want to be sending information to people and you're like, we're full, please stop,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah, and honestly, if people keep reaching out to us that are interested, we'll just say the pilot's closed at this point, but we are interested in helping you with the next iteration, so we can reach back out to them later.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Mhm.
So I'll jump in for you. Does Brian or Madonna, any last questions or anything like that, or any sign offs that you guys want to do here, Carly or Phoebe?
No
No,
questions
thank
for
you.
me.
Okay.
Good luck.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I appreciate you folks doing this. I look forward to seeing how well it works.
Us too.
Likewise. Awesome. Well, thanks for being here, everybody. Thanks for presenting, Carly and Phoebe, and everyone have a great day. And I will get this on the YouTube channel as soon as I can, so it's up for everyone to see.
Thanks, Sally. Thanks, everyone.
Have a
Thank
good
Take care,
one.
everyone.